Chris Olds, Beckett Baseball here. Got a little collecting tips video for you. And it's sort of a rip and retell, but more of a tip video. Or something. I recently picked up some mid-90s wax and got one of the dreaded surprises that are out there. 93 Leaf update. I'll go ahead and rip into it and show you the problem. Well, the cards are stuck together. So you got to do this to kind of get them apart. And sometimes it works pretty well. That kind of worked okay, but they're still sticking. It's a product of the gloss from back in the day. Probably some heat through the years wherever these were stored, and probably some pressure. After all, box on top of boxes in cases. So I was fully intending to do a box break video for you just for the fun of it, although 93 Leaf Update, which is a third series that year, isn't much to write home about. How about 2 Curtis Laskanics in one pack, along with a Kelly Gruber and a Chuck Carr. But here's the byproduct of the Snap Crackle Pop. White marks where the gloss actually took ink with it. I don't know if you can see that real well. I pulled a few others in my box where hopefully you could see it closely. Now there's no way to know these packs could be problems unless you've opened them. And not every box would be an issue, but note the horrible ink removal on the edges of this card, for example, and also up the middle. They're not always that bad, but they can be. This is a marble design here, but right in here you can see where the ink pulled off. Here's some more examples. Ryan Klesko, note the missing ink on the side and the bottom down there. And here are some of the decent names from back in the day. Tim Salmon, not a rookie card, but rookie season card. JT Snow, oh yeah. Raul Mondesi and Brett Boone. Now, that's how much of a highlight the update box was. Kind of a box that'll make you do this. You know, make it look like that. But not all was lost. I did save you the pain of having to make you watch more of this. But got some Series 1, and I've got five packs here to rip on camera. So the tip is, if you buy older wax, you need to kind of research and find out which sets might have problems. Maybe in the comments below, if you've opened boxes that are no good, impossible, tell people. Not every box will be a problem. The Series 1 packs had the same issue. This card's a goner because it was mispackaged on the end. But the actual Series 1 box I did, they came apart actually without much damage at all. They're still stuck, but not as badly. They still make the noise. They still lose a little bit of color here and there. Some minor specking at worst. But overall, they're not as bad. Well, that one was pretty bad. So it's hit and miss. I've opened most of the box already and not done too poorly. Here's a this one is stuck. Let's just pop it the hard way and see if it works. A Gold Leaf rookie, which was one of the big inserts back in the day. Ryan Thompson. Not a loss there with some specs on the front. See who else we get. I'll just go ahead and pop it. Now that may cause damage, but honestly, it's very hit and miss to peel the packs apart. Like right there, I peeled it with really no issues. Some will be, some won't be. It's just a matter of where that box has been in the last 20 years. This pack was pretty uneventful. Mike Greenwell, a highlight. Another pack. Rick Aguilera. That peeled off pretty cleanly. These peeled off perfectly. Too bad it's a Darren Jackson and a Devon White. Dan Gladden. Rough. But at $5 a box, I thought I had a deal. Turned out to be a potential informative video for you guys. Jack Morris, good photograph. Bud Black and Kurt Manwaring. Jim Austin, Frank Viola. Here's a decent name, not much value here, but Kenny Lofton. Cool picture of him whiffing. 3 packs to go. Let's see if I get any other inserts. I don't remember exactly what I pulled out of the other packs. Todd Stottlemyre, Devon White, Brian McRae. These are peeling pretty smoothly. It makes noise, but not a lot of damage. Andy Bennis, Dwight Gooden that I talked to. Nolan Ryan, little old school Rangers action. Do you remember where you were when Sid scored? Derek Bell, Eddie Zosky, Mike Munoz, Kevin Brown. 2 packs to go. Basically, anything, the glossy years, there could be problems like this, just based on the fact that they were trying different things with printing technology that may not age well. And there's no way to know at that time, really, either. Cards that sit in storage for decades. Could be a non-air-conditioned unit where they cook. They sit there and bake 75, 80, 100 degrees all day long. Not really baking, but you know what I mean. There's no way to know until you rip that pack open. I've had boxes that are no problem. I've had boxes that are problems. Another brand that I opened back in the day like this, XFL cards from 2001. Half the box was awful, worse than these. Howard Johnson, another brand that has some infamous stuck cards, is the Baywatch non-sport set. Those cards, you literally get about 1 good card per pack. The only reason I know about them is $20 a case and 1 autograph per case. I tried it once. Even the autograph came destroyed. And it wasn't even a good one to start with. Dwight Gooden again, Danny Gladden, Rafael Palmeiro, Dan Pasqua, John Olerud. Boy, you love those big sets, don't you? Bobby Witt, Felix Fermin, lots of star power in this one. Jay Bell, Lenny Harris, Keith Millar. It's just Miller, sorry, my bad. Kevin Gross, and Andy Bennis. This brand was actually one of my favorites that year. Foil stamping on the front, holographic foil stamping on the back for each team logo. Very striking design. A city kind of escape photo behind the player's image. Full bleed photography. I think this set was kind of ahead of the game back then. But unfortunately, all these years later, because of some heat and some pressure and some high gloss that was probably too high gloss, we're stuck with damaged baseball cards all these years later. So if you're ripping wax just for fun, go ahead and rip it, but you might have some not so fun results if it's too risky. Might get some clean cards though too. So that was a rip and retail video with a little bit of old school flavor, maybe some help you out action there too. So hope it helps you, or maybe you've got some other stories to tell just like these. Tell us in the comments below. Till next time, Chris Olds, Beckett Baseball, just keep ripping.